You're 30 years old. The government says you can't touch your money until you're 60 years old. That would be 30 years. 30 years is a long time, long enough for them to change the laws. Here's the thing, most people think they're being responsible by putting all their money into their investment accounts. But guess what? You've just put all your eggs in the one basket and you've handed it to the government, hoping they won't change the laws between now and when you want it. But you don't build wealth with hope. You build it by taking control. 7 years ago, I thought picking stocks was gambling. Then I spent 2,000 hours learning how the legendary investors actually build wealth. Today, I'm breaking down the 3 risks that nobody else talks about regarding retirement accounts. And then I'll explain the 3 paths to take control back. Here's what most people don't realize. The laws governing your retirement accounts aren't set in stone. The government can change the tax laws whenever they like. Let me give you a real life example. Back in 1986, the US government eliminated negative gearing. Now, this was a tax break that allowed property investors to deduct losses from their actual income. Overnight, the rules changed. Now, Australia still has negative gearing today, and it's actually what's being artificially raising the demand for property and allows bad investments to be effectively subsidised by the other taxpayers. And is it really a housing shortage, or are there just lots more property investors with 20 houses buying more and really just driving the price up through the roof? Now, if you're one of those Australian property investors at the moment, you're making the same bet that the US did in 1985. You're hoping that the government won't change the laws. But they can, overnight, just like they did in the US. Think about the property investors in Australia that are trying to build their wealth, that are using the negative gearing specifically. And what would happen if that tax break just disappeared? Well, demand for those negatively geared investments, or poor investments to begin with, would fall dramatically. And then property prices would crash. And then investors who had outstretched themselves could end up going underwater and then be forced to sell and put all those other houses onto the market. What would that do? Flooding the market with lower prices. Sounds dramatic, right? Well, that's what happened during 2008 in the US's housing crisis. Now, I'm not saying it will happen, I'm saying it could. And you have zero control over that. Because if they can change property tax law overnight, they can do any other tax law as well. Now think about what could change over a 30-year period. Could be the age that you can access that. It could be 60, could be 65, could be 70. Could be the tax rate that happens when you actually withdraw could change. And you could also increase or change the penalties for withdrawing anything earlier. So right now I'm 33. The government wants me to work up until I'm 60 or preferably more. And they don't want me to touch my retirement money until then or after. Now, some people actually have planned to use up their retirement savings and then go off the government benefit or the pension scheme. But who's to say that when it kicks in at 67 at the moment, might get pushed back later or reduce the amount of that pension as well over the next 30 or 40 years. Now, that's more than 30 years away, but who's to say that it would still be the same in that much time? It's exactly what happened in 1986 when those investors had relied and hoped that it wouldn't change. Now, here's the brutal truth. You have zero control over those laws and what happens. Politicians make decisions on what got them elected, not what's best for your investments and your future. When governments need money, where do you think they're going to look? There's giant mountains of cash that are developed in retirement accounts, and it's just sitting there. And you've handed that control right over to them. It's your financial future. Okay, so the rules might change. That's bad. But what does it actually cost you financially and personally? The 30 years you're forced to wait, that's not just time passing by. That's opportunities, financially and personal ones for you and your family. Now, let me show you what that looks like. Now, this is the part that shocked me when I first calculated it. Say you're 30 years old and you earn $1,000 and you have 2 choices. So option 1 is you put it into your retirement account and it grows at say 10% per year, which is around the S&P 500's average, and you can't touch it until you're 60. Option 2 is you earn it originally, that 1,000, you pay income tax on it, and then you reinvest it yourself. Now you control when you buy, what you buy, when to sell, and when to access it. Now let me break down what happens. Now if you put that $1,000 in, if you're US 401k, it grows tax deferred. So after 30 years at around 10% growth, you'd have $17,449. But you have to pay tax when you withdraw it at 25% tax. So you're left with $13,000. Now, let's say we had that $1,000 and we pay our income tax of 37% originally, right up front. We're left with $630 to start with, but you control it. Now, if you learn to invest it and pretty reasonable, you can earn 15% returns. That's pretty conservative for a good investor. Now, after 30 years, you have $24,000. After capital gains tax, you're left with $20,000. Now, if you can get returns like Buffett is 20%, which he's done for over 58 years, you'd end up with $89,000. You make nearly 6 times your money just by learning to invest properly. But it gets even better. Most people don't just invest once with $1,000. They usually invest an amount every year or every month. So let's say that we invested that $1,000 every year up until we were 60, so over that 30 years. Now, here's what happens. US 401, $164,000 before tax. After 25% withdrawal tax, we're left with $123,000. We got Australian super, which is taxed on the way in, and it's tax-free after we're 60. End up with $144,000. Now, in your one that you control, 15%, you have $172,000. And your control with 20% is $473,000. It's nearly 4 times more than the 401k from the exact same amount of money invested. But here's the real difference. Each one of those other investments, the 401k and your super, are locked away for 30 years. You can't touch them up until a certain amount, without then getting a bunch of penalties on you. Your controlled assets, you control, and you can access them when you want. Now, what does that mean? Well, I don't know about you, but I don't plan on swimming around in a pool of cash like Scrooge McDuck. Let's use a real world scenario. So you're 55, your child needs help, might be trying to get a deposit for a house, it might be tuition fees, or it might be some significant medical expenses. Now, your retirement account, it's locked. You can't access it, otherwise you get heavy penalties to withdraw it earlier. Now, your controlled account, hey, it's flexible. It's there, it's ready for you, boom. You can get in and help your family. There's a hidden cost that nobody talks about. It's not just about that final number when you turn 60 or whatever the retirement age is in your country. It's about having options through your life. And by taking control, you gain those opportunities. And not just financial opportunities, but opportunities to reinvest in your family. So drop a comment and tell me why you invest. What purpose do your investments have for you and your family? Now look, I know this is confronting. You've been told your whole life that retirement accounts are the responsible choice. Good news, I'm not saying abandon them. I'm saying don't rely only on them. Now, I've created a free 7-day challenge that walks you through this process and strategy that we're about to go through so that you can start taking control. And it comes from legendary investors like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Howard Marks, Seth Klarman, and others as well. Now, link's in the description and it's completely free. Or if you want the fast track and you're ready to commit, each week I open one client spot. I'm helping one busy professional become a confident stock investor in 12 weeks by showing you how to find exceptional stocks so you can build long-term wealth. You'll finish with 5 exceptional stocks that you've found ready to invest whenever you choose, using a proven strategy based on timeless principles, not gimmicks. And I've distilled over 2,500 hours into the only 40 hours you need. 1 week's work over 12 weeks. Once complete, that strategy takes under an hour a week to maintain. I guarantee the outcome, or I work with you personally until you've got your watch list of 5 stocks. And if you want that spot, you can apply a link in the description. Because the investors who win don't guess, they have a system. All right, so you understand the risks now. Rules can change, opportunities can pass by, and 30 years is a very long time to have zero control. So what do you actually do about it? That's where most people get stuck. And there's something wrong, they just can't put their finger on it. And they don't know what the next step is. Let me break it down. Here's my approach, and it's the approach most successful investors use. Keep your retirement account, but add a second vehicle you control. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially a basket that the government controls. Here's what I do. Account 1 is a retirement account. For me in Australia, I do the minimum contribution. Why? Because I'd rather have control. Now, this is a backstop for me, maintaining that super position. And mentally, this allows me to have the financial security ticked. Theoretically, I could invest in a roulette table and be okay. But I won't because I know better. Account 2, self-directed investing. So this is where I put most of my investment capital. And this is the money that I control. Now I have three options. Path 1, a know-nothing investor. Now, if you don't want to learn how to pick stocks, that's fine. Here's what Buffett says. Know-nothing investor will get decent results as long as they know they're a know-nothing investor. Diversify as to time they purchase their equities and as to the equities they purchase. So all Buffett's saying there is dollar cost average into a low cost index fund for your retirement account. And that's simple, effective, and it works. Now you'll get average returns and you'll also have access to it when you need it for those opportunities for financially as well as opportunities for personal as well. For me personally, I'm not really happy with anything I do being described as average or mediocre. So on to the next one. Path 2, know nothing to know something investor. So this is a hybrid. You start with that dollar cost averaging, what we just did within low cost index funds. And this is what Buffett said. If you're a know something investor, able to understand business economics and to find 5 to 10 sensibly priced companies that possess important long-term competitive advantages, conventional diversification makes no sense for you. As you build your skills, I can then transition over time into this and doing more of it. And path 3 is just jumping straight into that. And it's learn to invest like legends. This is what I do. It's what the legendary investors do. Now, here's the thing. Picking stocks isn't gambling if you have a proven strategy. Now, Warren Buffett averaged 19.8% per year for 58 years. That turned $10,000 into $37 million. Howard Marks averaged 18.8% per year for 31 years with Oak Tree Capital. And Seth Klarman averaged 20% per year for 41 years through his Ball Post group. These aren't lucky people. These are disciplined investors with a proven strategy. Now, I spent over 2,000 hours studying how they did it, and I found the common threads. They buy great businesses at great prices. They think independently, they're patient and wait for opportunities. They have a margin of safety. They focus on businesses they understand. And that's it. It's not complicated. It's common sense investing, but it does require learning. Now, here's the beautiful part. Once you learn this, you can do it in an hour a week. Some people love it and end up spending more time on it. It's like the intellectual hunt, if you will. But it's not required for results. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need to watch the market all day. You just need a system. Do it yourself with the free link below or get results 5 times faster with a guaranteed outcome by applying below. Because here's what no one tells you. Investing in your education is part of taking control. Think about it. If you can learn to get 15% returns instead of 10%, that's not just 5% that you're making extra a year. It compounds. Over 30 years, that's the difference between $123,000 and $172,000. That's $49,000 more. What if you get 20% returns like Buffett? Well, that's $350,000 more over 30 years. So how much would you pay to learn that? Is it $1,000? Is it $5,000? It would be a steal for $10,000. And how much time are you willing to dedicate to it? Is it 10 hours? Is it 100 hours? Is it 1,000 hours? Think about that. It's your future and your family's future and the options that it gives you. More importantly, you have that skill for life. You have control. A recession, a market crash, a divorce, you could lose it all or lose half, and you still have those skills for life. You can do it again, but only if you start. The best time to start was 20 years ago. Well, if you don't have that, best time to start is today. This is the path I chose, and it changed everything for me. Let me wrap this up. You're being told to put all your money into investment accounts that you can't touch for 30 years. 30 years is a long time. Long enough for laws to change, opportunities to appear and disappear, your life circumstances to change. Politicians, they control the rules, not you, unless you take control. Here's how. Point 1, understand the risk. Rules can change. You have no control over retirement account laws, property tax laws, or tax laws in general. Point 2, calculate the cost. 30 years of locked capital means 30 years of missed opportunities. The financial cost and the personal cost to you and your family. Point 3, take action. Keep your retirement account for the tax benefits and financial security, but add a second account you control for wealth. You can choose your path. Path 1, know nothing investor investing in simple ETFs. Path 2, a know nothing to know something investor. You're starting with those simple ETFs, building your knowledge and skills to pick exceptional stocks over time. Path 3, Just start off and take it to the next level and invest like legends. Now, most people won't do this. They'll keep doing what they've been told, lock away their money and give it to the government for 30 years and allowing them to look after their basket of eggs. But you're not most people, and you watch this video and you can think for yourself. Your homework. Take stock of your finances. Write down your plan for financial security, building wealth, and what purpose they serve you and your family's future. And don't forget, grab the 7-day challenge link in the description. It's completely free and it'll walk you through the basics. If this was helpful, hit the like button, and if you want more like this, click subscribe. Now here's the thing, taking control is step 1, but you also need to know how to pick the right stocks. Because if you're going to invest outside of your retirement account, you need to find the best stocks, and not just the best, the top 1%. That's why you need to watch my next video where I go over how Warren Buffett finds the top 1% stocks. I break down the exact 5 tests Warren Buffett uses to separate the winners from the losers. You ready? Click the link on the screen now. Thanks for watching. Get after it. Cheers, boys.